Welcome back to Taiwan Outlook. Joining us today is the Acting Director of International Affairs Department from the Taiwan Institute of Economic Research, Chiang. Professor Chiang, China has now become the powerhouse of the regional economy or even global economy. How do the regional countries see the rise of China economically? Do they see that as a competitor or do they see that as a partner?
Well, I think most countries would say both. Yeah, we have been hearing a lot that the rise of China actually provide opportunities. They provide threat as well.
Yeah.
So I would say most countries in this region, they look at the rise of China either as an opportunities and also come with some threats. For example, Japan, we say, well, we have to take the China as the regular trading partners, and even a very important partner in the
That's
futures. Right. And China may replace the United States as Japan's number one trade partners.
Yeah.
The case is similar to Taiwan's case. And Japan also look at the rise of China as a threat. Because Japan has to face a very big competitors. It has never before. So I would say for country like this, country like Japan, with such large economies scales, they still look at China as a threat.
How about Southeast Asian countries? In terms of FDI, in direct investments, do they see China as a competitor in attracting FDIs?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Because before the rise of China, most of FDI came to Southeast Asia countries. But after the rise of China, most FDI been sucked by Chinese markets.
Yeah.
So in terms of FDI, I think China is a very big competitor for Southeast Asian countries.
Yeah. But it appears to me that Southeast Asian countries are now jumping onto China's bandwagon, trying to speed up the liberalization process, trade liberalization process between ASEAN countries and China. How do you explain this greater economic cooperation between the two blocs?
Well, I would say because ASEAN countries know there's no sense for Southeast Asian country to take the backside to look at China. So rather than think China as a threat, they try to find what's the opportunity can get from the rise of China.
Yeah.
So they, like you said, they jump into the wagon of Chinese economy or the rise of Chinese economy and try to get some benefit from there.
Yeah.
And to get the benefit from there, they have to cooperate with China first.
That's
and
right.
then China, due to some non-economic reasons, they will say, well, I can give you some economic benefits if you cooperate with me, if you listen to me.
How about South Korea?
South Korea, well, the case for South Korea is more similar to Taiwan. Taiwan has very similar industrial structures with Korea, and the economic size also are very similar.
Yeah.
So when both countries face the same phenomena, the rise of China, I think Korea they also has some kind of dilemma. They have to handle their hollowing out situation. I mean, a lot of Korean investment going to China.
Yeah.
It's just like Taiwan's case. And also, they have to think about how to diversify their overseas investment.
Yeah.
So it's very similar to
But
Taiwan's
we've been
case.
talking about the rise of China. It appears that the rise of China is a irreversible trend. But there's another theory arguing that China could face an immediate collapse overnight. What's your assessment of the future prospect of China's economy?
Well, from the Chinese view or from the Chinese Beijing government view, of course, they don't want to see that happen.
Yeah, collapse of China.
Yeah, so they will try to do everything prevent the collapse of Chinese economy by any means.
Yeah.
Yeah, So for me, I would say it's kind of difficult to see suddenly with the sudden collapse of Chinese economy.
Yeah.
But I do see Chinese economy will face some difficulties in the near future, or face some challenges in the near futures. For example, look at the couple days ago.
Yeah.
The stock market
had dropped.
Yeah, in Shanghai stock markets, and that kind of situation try to tell the whole world. Do you want to see the collapse of Chinese economy? And they also try to tell the Beijing government, be careful about your policy. In the past, the Chinese government can do whatever they want on their economy.
Yeah.
But now, if you have some sort of policy which is going to affect the stock market or affect the expectation of the foreigners.
But it's kind of ironic, in a way it shows to the world that China's market is very important. It could affect the whole global market.
Right.
But on the other hand, it shows that the world is somewhat, kidnapped, hijacked.
By the Chinese.
Hijacked by the Chinese market.
Right.
Who is more vulnerable? I mean, China is more vulnerable to the world, or the world is more vulnerable to the China market?
But in the short run, the whole world would be more vulnerable to Chinese market. But in the long run, I don't think so. Yeah, because the market is very free. Now the global market is very free and very dynamic. If you are not good for investment, I'm sorry, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But China has been maintaining a double-digit economic growth, over the past decade also. Do you think that China can continue to maintain a double-digit growth in the immediate future?
No.
And if that happens, I mean, it dropped to 9% or 8%. How will that affect China's internal domestic economy?
Well, I would see so far the weakness for Chinese economy is they don't have enough domestic consumption. So in recent years, particularly in recent days, Chinese government they has put increasing domestic consumption as the priority of its economic policies. So if China can really reach that kind of goal, I would say the Chinese economy grows, even though the GDP growth rate below 10%, it's fine. But if they continue to depend on foreign markets, I would say they're gonna have some trouble.
Yeah. But you mentioned earlier that these regional countries are becoming more interdependent.
Yes.
How will China's economy affect the regional economic integration in general?
You mean in terms of
in terms of further integration among the regional countries?
Well, definitely if Chinese market further integrate with the rest of the regions, the rest of region or other countries we get some benefit from Chinese markets.
Yeah.
But like we just discussed about the vulnerabilities, further integration will increase the vulnerabilities of those countries that integrate with China further. So if you want to increase the integration with that kind of big market, you got to think about the risk. What is the risk? And to prevent the risk or to reduce the risk, the best thing to do is to have good system.
Yeah.
So that's why the European integration, when they try to push further integration, they will think about a system first.
Yeah. So the political reform has to come in hand with the economic reform at the same time.
Well, for the Communist Party, I don't know whether they are thinking about this or not. But from the general views, or in general, definitely the political reforms must go with the market reforms or market liberalization. Yeah.
Let's talk about another dimension of regional integration, that is monetary cooperation. And in this year, recent years, there have been discussions about so-called Asian dollar or Asian money.
Right.
Is that a possibility in Asia?
That could be. So far, we at the ASEAN Plus 3 system or ASEAN Plus track, they have agreed to have the Asian currency unit. We call the ACU.
That's right.
If we recall that the integration process in Europe, they have the EMU before. before the euro.
Right.
So ACU is a beginning for promoting or for creating the Asian dollar in the future, or Asian currency, common currency in the future.
Yeah.
So if the ACU can go well, or can have a good result, at least it will stabilize the monetary situation in the East Asia. And if you can, and then it can push the creation of the Asian dollars. However, I would say to create or to have the Asian currency does not only depends on the Asian countries. It also depends on the voice of the United States. Yeah. Remember, when the Asian financial crisis happened in 1997, Japan initiated Asian Monetary Fund in that time, but the first country against the initiative is the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to see, besides the dollars, U.S. dollars, and the euros. This world has the third largest currency.
Yeah. You mentioned the role of the United States. The U.S. has one foot in the region by joining the so-called Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation.
Yes.
How does the U.S. see the regional cooperation and economic integration?
Well, the United States recently has a big move in terms of what you just say, the regional economic integration in the Asia-Pacific. Last year, during the APEC summit, the United States President Bush initiated the Asia-Pacific Free Trade Area. We call the FTAAP as a free trade agreement of Asia-Pacific. And that initiative was initiated in 2004 from a group of business members. But last year, Bush raised the ideas to the leaders of the APEC leaders, and that initiative has been endorsed by the different leaders. So from this year, APEC, this becomes a major theme for APEC to follow, or to see what's the further step they should take.
But how do you see the feasibility of the FTAAP?
There is a research done by PECC last year. The political feasibility is very low. Yeah. But for economy, in terms of economic benefit, for the APEC members, are quite high. Yeah. So there's a contradiction.
But there's a nickname for the APEC, and a perfect excuse for chatting, or a perfect excuse for chatting.
Right.
Are you satisfied with the APEC development so far?
Well, I would say that the APEC was created in 1989, and the reason to create APEC is to talk about the economic policy.
That's right.
Or to coordinate the economic policy between different countries. So I think that's the function. Yeah. And it's very difficult for us to expect that the APEC can come up with some sort of binding agreements.
But what will be the base or the foundation for the FTAAP? If the APEC is not the one,
Right. So now that's the challenge. Yeah. So some critiques has been, is coming out. They say, well, if you want to reach that kind of agreement, you got to change the system. You got to change the nature of the APEC. Otherwise, it's gonna be just another talk. Or another topic for talking. So I don't know. We will see how they handle this hot topic in the near future.
But during the process of a regional integration, Taiwan has been left out. And when we come back, we talk about the possibility of Taiwan's being marginalized in the process, and what should Taiwan be doing in response to regional economic cooperation. When we come back, we will talk about the role of Taiwan. Stay with us.